Okay, I'm live. Well, what's going on in the news right now? Jerry Falwell Jr. Resigned as the president of Liberty University following a scandal. Uh, I really, in some ways, I really think this story isn't that relevant, but there are some areas where I think it's kind of relevant to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do. Um, Jerry Falwell, as you know, is the Jerry Falwell Jr. Rather, is the son of Jerry Falwell, the famous TV preacher, founder of the Moral Majority. It was a a evangelical Protestant-based socially conservative movement that spearheaded the Christian right that became one of the many active forces within the Republican Party, especially during the Reagan Revolution, and it's still very much a part of the Republican uh, Party uh, today. Well, Jerry Falwell's son, Jerry Falwell Jr., who was the president of Liberty University, was in a situation where his wife Becki Tilly um, was having an affair with his business partner Giancarlo Granda, who whereby he decided to blackmail Jerry Falwell, promising to, or rather threatening to destroy the reputations of the family if all this were to come out. And because of this situation, and it got kind of out leak into the public, Jerry Falwell Jr. resigned from Liberty University. So, how does this fit into my perspective on life? My answer overall is so what? So freaking what? But I think it's kind of important to talk about this because of who, not only because of Jerry Falwell Jr., who is a fairly prominent member of the what you call the TV evangelists that exist today, but because of his father and the what I think was the negative impact his father had toward the American political culture, especially in the last 50 years. During the 1970s, when I would guess that they were not quite as partisan, that was when the religious right movement started. And it culminated by the time of Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan found a way to court over these people. Yeah, it was Jerry Falwell, it was Pat Robertson, people like John Hagee, Jimmy Swaggart, um, various other TV preachers that found a way to galvanize and turn the evangelical Christians who were not really all that political, or wore their politics on their sleeves rather, to get them motivated and to a point where these people became super uber partisan Republicans first and Christians a very very distant second from my perspective. Um, so that's basically what I'm wanted to talk about. And the you know well anyway, the culture war thankfully has been largely lost on behalf of the religious right. Um, they can't stop the gays from marrying, and good luck on trying to implement and turn the United States into an official Christian state. And that was basically their main objective, was to turn the country into an official Christian state. Um, Meddling in politics and trying to force their beliefs onto the rest of society. They lost that culture war, and I'm glad they did. But here's the thing: there's there is a problem that I do have with the left when it comes to some of the political correctness that takes place with speech codes on campus and overzealous kids trying to prove how woke they are with their virtue signaling and that I've always had a problem. Even as a lifelong leftist, I kind of always looked down on it. Even when I was in college, I, yeah, I was like, come on, really, with the PC thoughts. Even though it was like largely apolitical campus I attended at the time, but I what little bit I saw, I just like really. And funny thing about the PC activists out there, I go and wag my finger in disapproval. Some of them get mad at me about it, but the joke is on them. I'm more. I'm not even a freaking Marxist, and I'm more of a Marxist than the average Antifa little fucker walking around, out there even today, or or whatever other, woke activists out there. But I digress. But I want to talk about reverse political correctness too, because over there on the Liberty University campus about a decade ago, they literally banned the college Democrats and they banned the American Civil Liberties Unions for having a chapter on their campus. And it was, I guess, over issues that they find objectionable with regard to, well, I guess, where they do not agree with the Democratic Party or the overall vision of the ACLU. Now, here's the problem I have with that. Um, a lot of these people that thought it was okay to get rid of the campus ACLU and the campus college Democrats from Liberty University would be the same people that would be crying their eyes out if, if Harvard University or Berkeley banned college Republicans or ban MAGA rallies or or put a stop to uh, a Tea Party activists speaking on campus, what have you. I know Tea Party's a little outdated at this point, but there's a point I'm trying to make with this. And they would be rightfully upset, getting mad at a liberal university campus for cracking down on free speech. And when they did when it happens on by a liberal campus doing this against controversial conservative candidate spokespeople, um yeah, I would join the chorus and saying, yeah, that's bullshit. I mean, yeah, that is bullshit. I mean, I don't like Milo Yiannopoulos, whatever the heck his name is. I mean, I certainly am not a fan of Ann Coulter, but if they wanted to speak on campus or what have you, yeah, let them speak on campus. Let the Ben Shapiro speak on campus. Let them speak. I mean, they have a right to be stupid, and people got a right to listen to what they have to say, and whether they want to listen to their stupid rhetoric or not. I don't think that their speech should be shut down. It's what I believe. I make no apologies for it. But the point is that Liberty University has done the same thing as the purple hair kids on the so-called liberal campuses that they decry about. But I guess it's okay when they do it. In other words. But another thing is, people like Jerry Falwell Jr. and people like John Hagee, what have you. Yeah, I mean, they lost the culture war, but the war that they would like to see is the U.S. fighting more and more in the Middle East, and that seems to be what motivates a lot of evangelicals these days. And before anybody says anything, and I will have to say this defensively when I do a critique of some of the political activities of evangelicals. Um, I'm a Christian, and I don't go around trying to force my way on with my beliefs onto others. And by the same token, as a Christian, I am generally opposed to war, and I just think it's not a good sign of Christian character to advocate a war, especially proactive war, a war that's in that is not in self defense, especially. So that's one of the problem. That's one of many problems I have, and probably might be the biggest problem I have today with people like uh, Jerry Falwell Jr. or in my case, in my opinion, even worse, John Hagee. So that's basically all I have to say about that today. But anyway, just thought I share my thoughts on this. And I'm social democracy. That's what I'm called now. You know, formerly known as Bernie Bro. Um, and still am a Bernie Bro until, always, will always be one. If you like what you heard, please press like. If you dislike it, press dislike. Either way, um, comment. Let me know what you think. My URL, which I got one now, is youtube.com/ social democracy / I will repeat that again. youtube.com/ social democracy / And that's a free speech absolutist. All I have to tell you, like I've been telling you, that if you have a platform, utilize it and exercise your free speech because we are all the muckrakers of our time. And until next time, peace and Bernie Sanders for president in the year 2024. And no, I wasn't kidding when I said that.